Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope that that in this committee we can agree that if there's ways to more efficiently do business, that we can do that, and look forward to having that conversation about the folks who are not going to be a part of these agencies anymore. But getting to the heart of this matter, we do have good people working inside the agencies, and this has been an important issue, and without relitigating the last 4 years, let's start fresh here. And I'll start with Mr. Singleton talking about the Confucius Institutes, and I've had a lot of legislation on this, done a lot of work on Confucius Institutes. Very worried still that the Chinese Communist Party uses Confucius Institutes and other entities to hijack our intellectual property, to steal technologies, to do a variety of things that are detrimental to us. So what I'd like to ask you is, given the strategy of the military-civil fusion, what steps do you think the U.S. should be taking to prevent them from exploiting academic universities and using these CI kind of strategies?
Sure, no, thank you, sir, and thank you for your leadership on this issue, as well as the RSC that I know is taking a close look at this. Confucius Institutes used to number over about 120 across the United States. There are less than about 14 today, but they didn't actually go anywhere. They just rebranded and renamed themselves, and now they go by other names that are even harder to track. What's worse is we see the proliferation of these Chinese-controlled outreach programs at the K through 12 level across the United States. Again, absolutely no coordination, control, or mandating requirement for any of these things. Beyond the concerns about free speech encroachment, beyond some of the ideological reservations we should have about what's being taught in these classrooms and to our students, there are real research risks, and primarily it's because when you open some of these or establish some of these research partnerships, and the academic exchanges, they all come together. So as we looked at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies at all of the Confucius Institute contracts, they mandate research partnerships in cutting-edge emerging fields, typically between Chinese universities supporting China's military and our university system. Beyond that, we have to be pretty concerned, I think, about free speech on campus, and there's ample evidence from the FBI and others showing that Confucius Institutes are used to suppress free speech and to organize protests against speakers, including the Dalai Lama, who come to U.S. universities to speak about human rights in China.
Thank you very much. Mr. Evening, I'll go to you on a similar topic, but on hybrid threats and the hybrid approach that the CCP takes to where they're blending, lawfare and legal and illicit activities together. So what are the concrete steps from your perspective that we can take to counter those?
Thanks for the question, Congressman. I think we have to first educate and advise and make everyone aware what that looks like. Whether or not you're in a university or research institute, or if you're a corporate world, they typically don't know what that hybrid threat looks like. What does it look like, whether it's a joint venture or it's an opportunity to go in a hybrid, inflect some cash into a startup or a company in the Silicon Valley or Austin, Texas? There comes a tail to that, and I think we have to be more effective and efficient as a government entity, both the executive branch and Congress, in educating and informing how does that look like? How does it manifest with you and your dollars to be able to educate first and then mitigate second? Like the Confucius Institutes, the universities out there are just now starting to learn a lot of these partnerships with institutes in China are problematic, and we're starting to see onesie-twosies breaking those relationships.
So you mean they're taking advantage of our country? The Chinese Communist Party?
Count the ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we should be alert to the fact that they're...
And I do think we have to, but I think the onus is on the government to advise and inform universities and research institutions of what that looks like and be more effective.
Dr. Pillsbury, last 30 seconds to you. What keeps you up at night about the Chinese Communist Party taking advantage of our country?
Just to stick on this topic, the information collection from our universities is really quite dramatic. I first learned about this from FBI reports almost 15 years ago. They go into MIT or you name the high-tech university to the individual professors or department chairman, and they sign a right of first refusal. I give you $3 million, you tell me when you find me, the Chinese Communist Party, You tell me when you find something useful in your laboratory, and you show me first.
Wow.
These agreements were being signed by many universities. They did not know each what it meant, and they didn't even consult with each other.
Should
So
federal
God bless
funding-
the FBI.
Should federal funding be restricted from universities that are signing agreements with us?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Chair recognizes the